Welcome back to the channel. I was just scrolling through Facebook here and there was a Canucks trade talk. We'll call it a Canucks trade talk. So before I get into it, as much as you guys know, I don't have a webcam, so we're using NHL 20 until that's possible. So don't worry about the Arizona stuff. We're just focusing on the Vancouver Canucks. So in this article, it had Elliot Friedman's 31 Thoughts podcast in it and what these people think as well. So I'm going to read you the article and give you my perspective. So in the article it says, it's been an up and down season for the Vancouver Canucks, led by young guns like Pettersson, Besser, and Hughes. The Canucks started off the season on fire and look like they could finally squeak into the Stanley Cup playoffs for the first time in half a decade. Fast forward to today though, and the Canucks are sitting 4 points out of a playoff spot and are riding a 3-game losing streak. In other words, the Canucks have blown it. Well, not quite, but things are certainly heading that way. So I'm going to stop the article there. The Canucks have not blown it. The Pacific Division is a cluster. Between the top 3 teams are 2 points in between each other. Calgary is in 4th. They're, I believe, 4 points back from the first, and the Canucks are 8. They're not out of a playoff yet. It's December. Start talking about being out of a playoff spot in mid-January, February, where the trades start to happen instantly. So when these guys say the Canucks have blown it, they haven't blown it. And then they kind of catch themselves and say, but they're certainly headed that way. They are not. Look at the Edmonton Oilers. They went on a 4-game losing streak. Look at the Boston Bruins. Top of their division. They were on a 5-game losing streak. You cannot say that they've blown it either, because good teams go on those streaks but find a way to get over it and back to how they were. So anyway, back into this. It says Elliot Friedman reports that 4 Canucks players could find themselves on the trade block should the team continue their current slide. It's a slide. It's not the end of the world. They have till end of March, early April to figure their crap out. Sorry for swearing, but this is just kind of reporters trying to be reporters about all the bads on a team and not the goods. So in his podcast, he says, we'll see what happens from now until February and how negotiations go. But there will be interest in Josh Leivo, Chris Tanev, Michael Furland, and I would include Jacob Markstrom. So that's Freeman including him. But the goalies are tricky. Some teams hate doing that at the deadline, believing that it's too difficult to fill in that position, and many of the contenders seem good in net. So contenders, he means everyone in the playoffs right now. Overall, though, the Canucks are going for the postseason and will probably stick with the current roster in the race. I don't believe anyone is ruling out Michael Furland for the season, as has been rumored in British Columbia. I don't know where he's getting that from, but okay. But I do believe no one is going to be rushing him back in the lineup. So that's kind of what he says. And then they added on here, Josh Leivo and Michael Furland could certainly fetch a return on the market, as could Chris Tanev and Jacob Markstrom. Jacob Markstrom is a NHL legit starter, but as Freeman points out, it's tough to get teams to make a trade for the starting goalies in the season. The San Jose Sharks make sense as a trade target, but it seems unlikely the Canucks would make a move in season with a division rival. And then it says, stay tuned, Canuck fans. Okay, so I kind of gave my thoughts in there, how the Canucks are just going through a slump. All teams go through a slump. The better teams figure a way out of it. But like I said, Boston was on a 5-game losing streak. Yet they're still first. But no one was talking about that because everyone thinks Boston's this powerhouse team, which they're not a powerhouse team. They're a really good team that knows how to play hockey. That's what that comes down to. Now, in other sense, there has been trades between the Canucks and San Jose Sharks. Now, I kind of agree moving Markstrom is not the right time for the Canucks unless they know DiPietro and their other prospect goalie. His name's in my head, but I can't remember what it was. Dezinko? No. Thatcher Demko. That's who he is. Demko and DiPietro are ready to be that 1-2 punch for them. They will not be moving. I'm going to take credit for this if they do. But for me, I don't think they will be moving Markstrom. Now, Chris Tanev, I could see a lot of teams going after. And they say that Levo and Furlan would bring in good returns. I don't think Josh Levo will. I don't think Furlan will until Furlan actually gets in the lineup and starts producing. That will be the only way they'll get a lot max is the right word for him. So that's my thoughts. Like, the Canucks aren't totally out of it. They're 3 points out of a playoff spot, and this isn't the first report I read, but everyone's basically saying, oh, the Canucks are out. I'm an Oilers fan, so I'm trying to be completely non-biased here. But as an Oilers fan, we've been down that road, all us Oilers fans, where, oh, sell the team because they're not good, trade everyone away. No. These guys are human beings. They get down on themselves if they don't have a good game. Everyone does. But that's my thoughts on the article. I don't agree with what they're saying, as in, if Vancouver wants to upgrade, go for it. Use those players. But if you're going to sell out before January 14th of the playoffs, knowing that you're only 3 out, then something's wrong. But anyway, that's my take to it. Have a good one.